In this example, I will be doing a double triangle sum difference problem that we saw in the chapter 5, section 4. For these kinds of problems, you will generally be given some information. For example, a trig function of the angle u and a trig function of the angle v. And in this case, we are given that sine of u is equal to -4/5, and cosine of the angle v is equal to 6/10. And for each case, we are also told in what quadrant both of those angles can be found. And then they'll ask us a question, and the question will typically be find the exact value using one of the sum difference formulas. So before I even tackle the problem, there's a setup that I have to do. And the setup involves finding a triangle in standard position with the angle u, and using the sine u that I was given in SOHCAHTOA, I labeled the triangle. And so it was sine of u, so I have the 4 and the 5 where they go, and then using Pythagorean theorem, I find the missing side, which I put in the color, which is 3, and it's also in blue. Once I have my triangle labeled, I'm going to go ahead and find cosine of the angle u and sine of the angle u, which I'm going to use a little bit later. Now, remember that the angle u was in the given section, that the angle u was between pi and 3 pi over 2. Well, that corresponds to quadrant 3, and quadrant 3 is negative, negative. Cosine will be negative and sine will be negative. And then I repeat the process for the angle v. So I have to do a second triangle, and I use the trig function cosine of v is equal to 6/10 to label that triangle, to begin labeling it. And once again, using Pythagorean theorem, I find the missing side, which is 8, and I put in the colored blue. And remember that v in the given section, it says that the angle v is between 0 and pi over 2. Well, that corresponds to quadrant 1, which is plus plus, and that is telling us that cosine and sine of that angle will be positive. So I go ahead and I find those trig values. So that's my setup. So after that's done, I can tackle the question now. And so it'll be to find the exact value of cosine of u plus v, the sum difference formula. And I just expanded. Now remember that for cosine, for the sum difference formula for cosine, the formula has the opposite sign of what's given originally. So I write out the formula, and then I begin to substitute the values that we got in the setup for cosine and sine of both angles. After that, I just you make sure that the arithmetic that I follow the steps, and that I reduce the fractions, and in this case the answer is 7/25, and that is it.